Dave's behind the camera with NC Beer Guys, and welcome to another episode of NC Beer Buzz. We are finding our way to Huntersville today, and we're here with the Crafty Beer Guys. You might have heard about the bottle shop and tasting area, and everybody knows about that, and we're going to show you some scenes from that later on. But we're back in the heart of the operation, over in the warehouse, and what most people depend on Crafty Beer Guys to do is service the lines and to keep up their quality that the public is getting out of the tap lines. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris is the bottle shop manager and the sales manager, and Christian is co-owner.
Yep.
And does most of the service side, runs the service side of the business. Is that right? Good.
Absolutely.
So tell us, before we get into actually to seeing what you guys do, how did the concept come to be? What was the original out-of-the-box thinking of what Crafty was going to be?
Out of the box, I own and operate a couple of bars as well, downtown Charlotte. I'm not going to plug up today, but...
But it's up to you, it's fine.
Well, I own Hooligans, which is a soccer pub. I own Valhalla, which is a Scandinavian-style pub and eatery. And I own a new one we just opened, which is Queen City Beer and Chili, which we serve growlers, we serve good beer, and we serve chili.
Okay.
Cincinnati style, Carolina style, New York style.
Right.
But what came about, we obviously we had 16 beers on draft in one of my locations, and I couldn't get anybody to come and help me clean them up or
clean the lines now.
Clean the lines.
Make sure we know, our viewers know what we're talking about. Clean the lines that the beer flows through from the keg to the tap that's behind the bar.
Exactly. And then basically it was hard getting somebody to help you install these things as well. And you had to look around the state, you had to look around in other states to get somebody to come and help out.
And you were dependent on the beer guys to do that.
Absolutely.
The people, the distributors generally who knew that.
Yeah, exactly. And
because they had all the expertise.
They had all the expertise, but in North Carolina they're not allowed to do so. They're not allowed to help you out. They're not allowed to do anything for free for you. So there was an immediate need for it. I own a construction company too, so I was a pretty handy guy. So I said, you know what, I'm going to try to build this myself. Now, I got lucky. John Marino from Old Mecklenburg Brewery came out and he helped me build my first system. He's already built a couple. I then learned from him, and basically we built Hooligans off of what he knew.
Now, when you say built the system, you mean the dispensing system? The
dispensing system.
That brings the beer from the kegs to the customer.
Yeah, brings it from the cooler in the basement all the way up through a glycol chilled system. Noticed what he was doing. Kind of figured out there's a high price getting this done. You know what? I'm tired of crawling underneath houses. I'm tired of building stuff. So you know what? I'm going to crawl underneath houses and put in trunk lines instead, and help restaurants and bars around Charlotte to do it. Now, it took me a couple of years before I really got it going, and that's how I met Sean too. Sean was one of my guys that worked for me for my construction company. Handy guy.
And he's the other co-owner.
That's the other co-owner. Yep. Handy guy. Wanted something new with his life too, wanted to start something new, so we went together and I closed down my construction company on the day and we opened this.
And the bottle shop was an afterthought?
Well,
or it came first? Or
it was an afterthought. We needed an office, we needed a workshop, and we figured if we're going to do that, there's no properties around that is small enough for just an office and a workshop, unless you go downtown or go anywhere. And it ends up being expensive. So we started looking at Huntersville, and that's how we found our house. So I said, you know what? Let's open a bottle shop over here. We got a second floor where we can open our offices. We have a workshop out back, so we can be on site, we can monitor, we can be a part of it the whole entire time. Now, when we got started and really getting everything going, it took about 2 months, and that little shop turned into a very little shop. We couldn't even get inside the shop at one point, and sharing an office with 3 people didn't really work out either. So we said, you know what, we're growing as a company, we're growing fast, let's go find a place to move into. And let's stay close so we can get to the bottle shop, we can keep the marketing close to ourselves. And we ended up a mile down the road. And now we got 3,000 square foot of storage, workshop, and whatever else we can do in here. So we got our offices in here, we got everything in here.
And you're servicing tap lines statewide?
We're servicing, we're maintaining in Greensboro, and in Charlotte right now, whereas we service as in cleaning and just making sure everything is clean and ready to drink from.
Okay.
We install
systems.
We install the systems all over the state.
Okay.
Virginia. We're even doing a system down in Florida.
But it's a little far from Huntersville to go to Morehead City, for instance.
Yes.
And maintain a system.
Exactly.
But you might go down and install one, or in Kinston or somewhere else.
We'll go there and we'll service it. If there's a major problem, or they need a new glycol unit, they need something new, they need a new tower, whatever it may be that requires good people to get it done, we will go.
And would you also train them to do their own, service their own lines?
We try
to train. So far away, you're not cutting your own business out.
Exactly. We try to train them. We try to show them, just like we're going to show you guys today, what's the difference between a clean line, a dirty line, and a halfway dirty, and what should be thrown in the garbage dirty.
Before we do that,
yeah.
Why, as a drinker, do I care if the line is clean?
Well, there's several pesticides in it, I can say. There's growth of mildew, there's growth of anything, because when you think about it, beer's made out of hops, they're made out of wheats, they're made out of a lot of different things.
And today, more and more, they're made out of all these odd different things that just come out of the field or the garden, or you don't know
exactly.
where.
You got new ciders coming out that has apples, oranges, whatever it may be. Even beer's got apples, oranges in it. There's strawberry beer out there.
So other than a health issue, the taste is affected too, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, the quality of the beer suffers in a nasty tap line.
The quality of the beer suffers. You will suffer the next day tremendously.
So when people say they had a bad drinking experience and thought they got a bad beer last night, could it be that the line was bad?
Oh, absolutely, So, build on Kristen's point, you've got yeast, you've got hop gunk, you've got a bunch of stuff building up on here, and it creates a haven for microbial growth, And while there's alcohol in beer that kills anything that's, super harmful, there is a minimal health hazard, but part of the reason why it's not a regulated thing is because it's primarily a flavor thing. But now you've got all these craft breweries that are putting, so much work into building particular flavors in beers. It's not
such a fine profile.
Absolutely, and it's just not fair to them to have that beer pour through an unmaintained draft system and come out tasting completely different on the other end, even if that beer is only 1 to 2 days old.
There's a reason why breweries they clean every single day, several times a day. They use nothing but stainless steel parts. They replace their lines all the time. Everything is immaculate clean because they want the product to leave the brewery
in the best possible shape.
Best possible shape. So you can get into a beer line, and like Chris said, it's a shame that it goes into some of the stuff that we see.
And also, when you work with breweries, in their tasting areas and their little tap areas, they want it to be pristine, because for the same reason, they know the quality of that beer in the back. But when it's served to the customers, they want it to be just what it ought to be.
Exactly.
They can't always control all the retail accounts out there.
Exactly.
But they can control in their own premises.
But they can make the effort through somebody like us to make sure that there's at least a regular effort being maintained.
Now, you told us before, you're on a regular 2-week cleaning cycle.
We're going.
All your accounts that you service and clean is a regular 2 weeks.
Regular 2 weeks. There's some that are 1 month, but that's a customer request, which we don't like. But we do what the customer wants.
The 2 weeks comes from the Brewers Association draft quality manual recommended minimum.
Okay.
So, we find that it's the best basis. These are the folks that make the beer. They got together and built this organization and determined that is the minimum standard.
And it doesn't matter what kind of beer is flowing through that line. Some are gunkier than others or not?
There are some that have the color of being gunkier. Of course, you have other things that dispense flavors harder than others, such as root beer, such as sours, and they grow into not necessarily the lines we use for long draws, but it grows into all our vinyls, because a vinyl is a porous product at the end of the day. It's a plastic. So after a while, that flavor starts sitting in that line. Therefore, now either you replace it, you can't clean some of the stuff, but you got to replace it. So
it's the same ideas with allergens in kitchens. If there's a potential that you're going to have an offending flavor or allergen, you're not going to use the same equipment for it. So we make the effort. We're going to come in and, if at the request, clean the line for a strongly flavored product. If you're going to put a Pilsner on next.
But you can change beer lines, or you can change beers and flavors in between. But you don't want to go dark to light, or light. You can go light to dark most of the time, but you want to at least flush that line with something.
Okay.
You kind of clean it up a little bit.
So there's a training component too when you guys are on site.
Yeah.
You don't expect them to absolutely not tend to their business between the 2 weeks you're there.
No.
They need to know what to do themselves.
Exactly.
Before you come back next time.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reasonable amount of effort that a bar manager or a business owner can put forth.
So when they kick a keg, it may be more than just replacing that keg with a new keg.
Right. Yeah.
Should be.
Should be. You know.
Should be. Busy bars, busy restaurants.
Yeah.
Bartenders.
Well, we've all sat there and seen it. The keg kick and the new keg coming on the same line, different beer.
Yeah.
So show us a little bit about what you do and what you find when you go into places.
I think visually this is the most striking thing. So this is, as close as you're going to get to, on the very clear side, a brand new beer line. That's
a 6-month-old line, actually.
Well, 6 months old. That's brand new right there.
Okay. Yeah,
pristine, almost crystal clear looking. It's vinyl, so it is semi-porous. Even with regular cleanings, it's going to pick up flavors and colorations over a period of time. And these are
this tube was that color?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it started out as that
color.
color.
So it's discolored down to this.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like this was a yellow tube to me.
Yeah.
Okay, but it started.
It's absolutely.
Now, okay.
Mm-hmm. So that's a combination of picking up of yeast, microbes, all kinds of things, flavoring components, aromas. Like you can put this up to your nose if you're brave enough, and you can smell the years of use.
Not sure I want to do that.
No.
Yeah.
Right, and all of that gets it absorbs into your beer as it's pouring through those lines, and it ends up in your glass, and you taste.
Now
and
we
smell
will not. We do not want to know on camera. Actually, I don't think I want to know off camera.
I don't tell you either.
Where this one came out of. But if our cameraman is good, he's going to get us all this. That's just atrocious. This was like you're not fooling me. This is like a real something that people were serving beer through.
It's not close to the worst we've seen.
That is, and if you turn your camera over there, there's a picture of a right here. There's a picture of a coupler that was sitting on a keg in a business, and yeah.
Now, where was that? You showed me a piece of equipment. Did you?
That is right behind me, right here. This
actually came out of a
operating restaurant, which we kept in our clean room, which is where we keep brand new equipment. And this is what it looked like when we pulled it out. I'm not going to mention where it came from, but as you can see, a lot of maintenance going on with that. It came out of a private club where now the health department doesn't even regulate it, which...
So all these calcium deposits and all, I mean, I'm surprised it functioned even.
Well, that's why I got replaced, because it didn't really function too well.
Well, no wonder.
Yeah.
Right.
As you can see here, this is the intestines of it. This is where your beer lines have been hooked up. This is actually a poly product, so they actually don't stain as bad as the other ones, but you can see it on the copper, how old and decrepit this is. This is where you run your glycol lines through, but you can see easily what was going on in that bar. And this is what we help with. This is what some of our challenges to go and educate people with. Say, this is not acceptable.
Because some of it is an education thing. They just don't know any better.
Exactly, because it hasn't been a big thing until North Carolina blew up on the brewery side.
Because when there wasn't craft beer, there wasn't this issue.
Exactly.
To the degree.
You had the same beer on the same handle for whoever knows how long, so it wasn't. You didn't notice the flavor difference. You didn't notice the flavor impacts.
And you just didn't have, like you said, the variety wasn't there on the back side, so they kept putting them both through the same lines, and it was just bud. It didn't taste anyway, so it just
They froze it down, made it super cold, and you couldn't taste anything anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Right.
But last 3 or 4 years, the business has changed. Where now people care. They want to care.
And this is the next step after the brewery and the quality, delivering the quality to the customer.
Yep.
Right.
And these days, that's the only way a bar or restaurant will survive. Is if
because there's too many choices for all of us.
There are so many choices out there these days. You've got to serve a quality product to your end consumer, which is you that's going to give them
because
money.
As the consumer is more educated, he or she knows to differentiate. I know when I've had a good craft beer. I probably had that beer before, and so I compare this one to that one, and you think sometimes you hear people say, well, I've had it on can before, and now this is on draft.
Yeah.
And they think that explains the difference. But with the canning technology today, that difference shouldn't really be that much.
There shouldn't be anything at all.
Right.
Because they can out of the same keg as they pour out of, so
that's probably a tap line issue.
Yeah, exactly.
More often than not, yeah. I mean, these days you've got consumers that are loyal to some very particular beers, some very particular styles, and they know exactly what that beer tastes like. And
every time.
Yeah, and the breweries that are able to are putting so much effort and consistency to making sure that beer tastes the same every single time that you know as a consumer when that beer doesn't taste right. And there's only so many things it can be, especially when the local guys, when you know it's only 2 or 3 days old.
And some of that problem, or not a problem, it's not a solution for you, but a problem for the industry, is we now are so drawn to these places that say we have 100 taps, or we have 150 taps, or we have 300 taps. Exactly. And that's that many more lines to service, keep clean, and that, of course, is a price differential because they've got to pay people to do that. If it's not you, it's somebody else.
Exactly.
And if they don't keep them up, they've got 300 bad lines.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that exponentially means the issue is more and more and more as we place the demands on the bars for more. We want more tap handles.
Exactly.
Because we want more variety. Because we want to go in and sit and drink down the line.
Mm-hmm. You want to be able to get into a restaurant these days and say, what's local? And where did they come from? And how many different ones do you have? Mm-hmm. And then you got to support the old crowd or the people that don't like the craft beer scene. And or your
well, of course, that's right.
To drink whatever they're used to.
Because our reality is we have all the partners who have a place to play.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So every bar now they got 20 taps. I mean that's standard. And then you got the crazies that got 370.
Right. So what's the future for Crafty? You've come in a couple of years, 3 years. You've come a long way, and you never thought, as you said, that it would be it would be what it is. Where are we headed?
We're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to develop partnerships out there in the beer world.
Because all your guys now kind of work out of this geography, except Greensboro. I mean, but still, that's not a huge far away. But.
Exactly. We got a small division there. We're going to expand into Charlotte too. We just logistically doesn't make any sense to have everybody up in Huntersville here when we can be down south. So we're going to put a workshop down south too.
And you cross state lines, I guess, now. You go in South Carolina for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. When for installs, for major maintenance, we cross state lines. I mean, there's many state lines we have crossed already. We're going out to Florida to install systems. We're going everywhere. Where anybody calls, we're going to come and we're going to help them out. Our growth, we're not going to stop it. We're not going to try to stop it. We've tried. Didn't work. So,
you're like the only game in town for some people. For one thing.
There is other people in town here, and there's other people traveling into Charlotte, and there's other people other companies, big companies, trying to come into North Carolina because of the craft beer scene here.
And is the demand on you for the maintenance and service, or the installation of systems?
It is both.
Both. Okay.
It is both. We
didn't touch on the installation. These guys do install. If you want to be a new bar and you want a tap system, they'll come in and help you design it, figure out how you're going to handle it. Absolutely. How it should be configured, and you'll actually bring it to them and train them on it and get them going.
Absolutely. We've done any system from 2 taps to 70, 80, 90, 100 taps. We've done custom jobs everywhere. We build custom towers all over the place. A lot of the brewers you see here in Charlotte, that's more than likely us that did it. We have great partnerships out there, and we try to keep the relationships great between everybody. We want to say that we do the best job that anybody can possibly do. Everybody has their small mistakes, but we're trying to limit them as best as we possibly can.
Of course.
But you also get a little forgiveness if you got great partnerships out there too.
That's right. If you've done well in the past and been there for them, they'll understand.
Been there for them, and they're okay with something. Something's going to happen. It's just like building a house. Something's going to happen. It's not going to be perfect every single time. There's going to be an issue. We don't make the parts. Parts break. There's nothing we can do about it.
And as we said, you go in once every 2 weeks. You can't necessarily know what happens in those 2 weeks you're not there.
Exactly.
That sets you up for a problem when you do come back.
Yeah. But our goal is to continue to work with the local breweries. We already working together with Adams Distributing. We want to continue to work with the distributors as well, because we're not going to leave anybody out of the clean lines and say like that. We're not trying to separate anybody from the other. We're all here to sell beer. At the end of the day, let the end consumer get the greatest beer they possibly can out of anybody's beer. It's not a competition in between anybody, nor will we ever make it a competition between anybody. We want everybody to get the best out of it.
Sounds great. Thanks so much for having us in.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming.
I think we are done here, and I think we're going to hit the bottle shop. I will remind you, as we always do, remember, for Glenn and Dave, NCBeer Guys, drink local and keep your beer dollars in North Carolina.